Welcome back to more Lord of the Rings Online. I am going to be doing some quests here within the city of Minas Tirith. I am on the 3rd tier. Where am I? Right here. This is where I am. So let's go ahead and talk to this guy here.
We won't let our city fall.
Look at all this metal. I'm amazed you made it back unscathed. Now you should bring the scrap metal to our forges. You'll find them in the forges of Kirion. Alright. If you remember, this was a quest that I started way back, and then out in Pelennor I found a bunch of scrap metals, and now I brought them back, and now I guess I have to take them here in the forge. Let's go. Looks like I can smith them here. The forge's fire grow bright with the newly added metal. There has to be separate little furnace things here each time. The forge's fires glow bright with the newly added metal. Ah. I feel like I have to keep apologizing for the stutters in these interior locations here in Minas Tirith. Okay, I need one more. Very good. And I guess I have to speak with the same guy outside. That's not the exit. Here we go. Thanks again for replenishing the forge. We will be able to make some more barricades for the wall now. With the height of those siege towers, I suspect we'll need them. Alright. Done with that one. Next, where am I going? Looks like there is nothing left here.
We can only prepare so much.
Yeah, nothing left on the 3rd tier, so I'm gonna take a pony up to the 4th tier, which is the player's tier. So let's do that. Just slowly going up one at a time, clearing any quest rings that I find along the way. Okay. Let me check out this place.
When the time comes to fight, be ready.
J.R.R. takes the items that you have brought him and listens with a grave expression to the impressions you have gathered. Perhaps I ask too much of you, but yet, it is no more than we ask of every soldier here. Nevertheless, you have brought me ample inspiration. Let me ponder for a moment. Dark the day and bright the fire entrenches veins. Veins go cold and life expires, expiring joy and dread of pain. Dark the day, and blood shall flow. Dark the day, and still we go. Blood shall flow, and fear shall clamor. Clamor like the soldiers' cries. Cries of fury, hope, and valor. Valor chance and death defies. Dark the day, and still we go. Dark the day, and blood shall flow. There, it is done. I have wrought a song for war. Perhaps we will take these words to our graves. If that is so, take my thanks as well. So I think that was the quest where I had to gather stuff from all over outside in Pelennor and Osgiliath and everywhere else pretty much. Okay, next. What do I have here on this tier? Maybe this blue circle. What is this for? Guard of the Citadel. From the Thirsty Seer, I need to pick up the picnic basket for Pippin. I can't tell if that's going to be on this tier or the next one. In fact, let me look. I think it'll tell me here. Yeah, 5th circle. So it's in the 5th circle. So I actually need to go up one. And the 5th circle is the Sage's tier. Okay. Just making sure.
Gondor needs your aid.
Want to make sure I'm taking the right ponies. Alright, so there should be plenty of things for me to do here. First of all, there is a marking here. Yes, setting the stage. Is that quest way back? You guys remember that theater troupe I met in the first ring and they told me to meet them here somewhere? And I never found them. You have found the band busily exploring the theater.
Hello there.
Ah, you made it, Pippin. The city is too big for its own good, if you ask me. I decided it was best to humor Gord's request and take a look at the Hall of Air. Between you and me, he's always been worried about his voice. I know the theater won't make any difference, but if it helps him perform, I'll hold my tongue. This theater is a bit smaller, but I think it'll do. Why don't you talk to Holler? He's always keen on testing the acoustics of his space before performing, so you might be able to aid him. Ha, Pippin, glad you're still with us. It seems to me that this theater has an odd shape to it, and I'm curious as to how our instruments might sound in such a lofty place. I asked Gort to help, but he is in something of a foul mood, and I know better than to press him. You could aid me greatly if you would sit in several different seats throughout the theater and tell me how clearly you hear me playing. Hopefully my fears are unfounded, but I have a bad feeling about this one. Okay, so I need to sit in a few different spots here. Holler's drumming can be heard clearly. The sound of Holler's drumming is a bit muffled, but still acceptable. Holler's drums are nearly muted by the wind coursing through the theater's edge.
What do you need?
It is as I thought then. This will not work for us either. We'll need to travel back down to the Stone Theater, or perhaps there's another we still haven't tried. Don't you worry, I'll speak with Pola about this. In the meantime, I think Robbo wanted to talk to you about something.
A lovely day, isn't it?
Hello again, my friend. On my long walk to the Hall of Air, I had quite the thought. These instruments we have are old, more than a bit warped from our long journey to Gondor. Can you imagine how great we might sound with what the very best craftsmen of Minas Tirith have to offer? Yes, I know the instrument does not make the player, but humor me. Please, Pippin. Here's some gold. Take it down to the markets and see what you can find. Alright. Next. Let me go around. Looks like there's plenty more quest rings on the south side of this tier. I'm not going to go down and get the instruments just yet. I'm just going to clear rings on whatever tier I'm in. And for right now, that happens to be a tier 5. Upper stores. There should be a quest ring here. I think I might have run past it because he hadn't loaded in yet. Fair enough. Ah, the council resolutions are already written. That was very fast. It is good to see such haste.
It is a difficult responsibility.
For it usually takes much longer for the orders of the council to be put into action. Everyone is worried about what lies ahead, and it spurs them to move with haste. I am the warden of the stores, which means that all the food and goods brought into the city fall within the scope of my duty. I find where they can be stored safely and free from theft or spoilage, and assure that the folk who need access to it have it. I must confess some trepidation to you, Pippin. It is the city. If the city is besieged, I will surely become the most hated man in Minas Tirith. The man who rations the food is never loved by the hungry. This resolution will allow me to conduct a full inventory of the stores, so I will know how much food and other supplies we will have at our disposal if the gates are sealed by war. That inventory may become very important indeed. Okay, next. I need to go to the pub and still pick up that picnic basket for Pippin. Should be somewhere around here. A little further. The Thirsty Seer, this is it. Or actually, here's the picnic basket. Carry the picnic basket to the watch point at the end of the pier at the top of the city. Okay, so I have to actually run this up. Let me just do it now, of course. Have a nice lunch with our good friend Pippin. After which my character is kind of named Kippin. And then, how do I get up there again? I always mess this up. It's like right here somewhere. Very easy to run by. There we go. I'll have to remember, it's in front of the little barber shop. And finally up. Alright, Master Pippin. He's all the way at the end, I think. Yeah, he's at the very tip there. Here you go, sir. You set out the picnic lunch and everything looks delicious. Certainly does. Won't lie about that.
Do not be shy, my friend. Let us dig in.
Ah, look at this delicious bread, Kippin. I see why Gandalf spoke so highly of the Thirsty Seer. It's his favorite tavern in Minas Tirith, apparently, and I can see why. Well, do not be shy, my friend. Let us dig in, and we can talk after we have taken the edges from our appetites. Mug. The brew is most refreshing. It tastes delicious. It tastes very good. That is a good start, but by no means as an end. I will nibble a bit while we speak, if that is alright with you. You ask Pippin how he came to the White City. Oh, Gandalf brought me here. I slept much of the way, but Shadowfax is the swiftest in his kind, and he was at a gallop for the most of the journey. Why did we leave our friends behind? Well, Gandalf just thought I should see Minas Tirith is all. The others had their own plans, and, you know, he's a wizard. Pippin awkwardly stops speaking and picks at the food in silence. You wonder at his sudden evasiveness and decide to have a little bit more of the lunch. Food tastes fine enough. You sip the brew and it refreshes you. It tastes very good, but you are becoming worried about Pippin. I wasn't entirely honest with you, Kippin, and I'm sorry for it. Gandalf did not bring me to Minas Tirith without cause, or as a simple sightseeing trip. I know you were not deceived, but it is difficult for me to speak of, and I'm still ashamed that I might have worked some harm. Not on purpose. Gandalf called me a fool once or twice, and he was right to do so, but I would never endanger my friends on purpose. It was an artifact that Isengard, Wormtongue, threw it down from the tower intending to do some harm to either Saruman or Gandalf, and I saved it from rolling away into a pool. Gandalf claimed it soon afterward, but not soon enough. I found I could not stop thinking about the dark globe. I stole it away from the wizard when he slept and looked into it, Pippin. I saw... Pippin trails away into silence. Shame and fear is written upon his face. Pippin stands and gazes off into the distance. I saw a tall tower in a black sky in wheeling shapes, like bats, but much larger and much more frightening, and then I saw him, Pippin. He looked at me and his voice came not to my ears, but to my mind, if that makes any sense. He asked me questions, and when I did not answer, I felt searing pain. I told him I was a hobbit and his laughter was cruel. He said I would see him soon, and then Gandalf broke the spell and took away the stone. The artifact was a seeing stone, a palantir, and Saruman had used it to communicate with his Dark Master. Gandalf would not tell me very much about the stone, but he seemed to think that we escaped a much worse fate through a lucky chance of good fortune. I think he was right. I could not turn my eyes from the stone, and if that horrible figure had continued his questions, I know I would have answered him. What else might he have showed me in the palantir? I cannot guess, and I do not wish to. This is not the sort of conversation that suits a picnic, Pippin. Let us clean up our food, and we can speak again back at my post. You clean up the picnic and put away everything. Okay. So, I guess I can talk to him back where he was previously. Maybe. Yeah, there's some quest rings up here. Yeah, so of course, Pippin is retelling his story of coming into contact with the Palantir. I don't need to explain it. He did a very good job explaining it himself. Those are all more accurate facts that he spewed out. Okay, so there's a quest ring in here. Let me go in there. Sometimes there are so many quest rings that you just go through whichever one is first. I don't know why, but being in here kind of reminds me of the HBO show, or not HBO show, it's a Showtime show, The Tudors. Have you guys seen The Tudors? It's such an amazing show. Its marketing is very weird. It kind of gets marketed as like some cheesy teenage sex love drama, but it's not like that at all. It's super interesting, especially if you're a fan of history. One of my favorite shows of all time. This kind of reminds me of it. I guess the court in here reminds me of King Henry's court. There's a quest ring in here somewhere, but I am failing to find it. The lag is not helping the search. It's not up here. Maybe I need to be systematic about how I'm searching. Seek out the baths in the Southern Great Guest House. So I'm looking for the baths in here. Are these the baths? Just checking out all the waters. Sometimes these quests I've noticed here in Minas Tirith make you stand at a very specific spot, so you can't just pop your head in. You might have to actually run up to the exact spot. So I cannot go in there. There's no way. I have a feeling it's going to be down this passage. It's completely dark here. Okay. So I can't go that way. Let me try up here again. There we go. Irolas shakes his head at the baths as you enter.
The enemies of men approach. I hope you are prepared.
Welcome to the baths of the Southern Great Guest House. It is rather a lovely area when you do not have work to do. I bet you my brother gets all the easy jobs from Ormatar. He's probably sitting at the splintered shield, drinking his pint with his halfling friend. I'm not even supposed to be in the Citadel today. It was only Ormatar's chore that brought me here. Well, I suppose we should get to it. So what do I need to do? I need to collect some dirty cloths. So these baths are actually pretty cool. Love to relax in here. Pretty nice. Reminds me a little bit of the Budapest Hotel, which is not only a real hotel, but also a location of one of the Hitman missions. So if you haven't seen my playthrough of Hitman Codename 47, be sure to do so on my channel. It's under the playlist like every other game I do. Sometimes I have to do a shameless plug for my other series, you know? Already in use. And now, what am I doing with this? Wash the cloths with the bucket. Gotta do this 4 times. Alright, and then rinse it out here in the water bucket. Looks like we're done.
We can only hope that the Rohirrim will arrive before it's too late.
We've finished. I shall complain about my day to my brother the next time I see him. I apologize for taking my frustration out on you. These are difficult times, and I feel like I'm often ignored by both my family and superiors. Okay. Done with that. Let me get out of here. And as a reminder to all my viewers, if you comment on these videos about something very specific, make sure you put a timestamp as to what you're referring to, because sometimes you guys will comment on videos from years ago that I uploaded, referring to something very specific that I said without actually telling me what it was. So it's hard for me to reply to those comments unless I know. So if you put a timestamp as to what you're referring to, then I can kind of quickly familiarize myself and respond appropriately. Okay, looks like there's another quest ring here. Thank you for your help. I just received word that there is some sort of disturbance on the prowl, perhaps a scuffle. Would you mind looking into that for me? I would like to apologize for spoiling our picnic with such frightening conversations, Pippin. The food was delicious and the company was excellent.
For using such stones, no longer.
Of course, but I should not have spoken so much about the Scene Stone and what I saw within it. You are sure, Pippin, that it did not ruin the picnic and that you are simply glad that he is alright now? Well, I thank you for saying so, my friend. I will give such artifacts wide berth from now on. I can assure you of that. There may have once been good reasons for using them, as Gandalf says, but now there's so much trouble in, well, you know what I mean. Now that there's so much trouble away in the east, I dare say no one should peek into one of those stones ever. I will get back to my duties now, Pippin. It was nice to see you again. Okay. And once again, looks like there's a fight up here I need to go investigate. Baragon and Irolos are having an argument. You stopped the 2 brothers from arguing with their fists. I do not understand your jovial attitude, brother. How can you be happy at a time of war? Is it that hobbit friend? You spend so much time with that halfling. It's like your own brother does not even exist. Burgle, your son, needs your guidance on the eve of battle. You may not see him tomorrow. Baragon looks calm yet troubled. A moment passes before he speaks. It is true, my brother, spending time with Peregrine has indeed allowed me not to dwell on the bloodshed to come. Before I met the halfling, I was worried for you, for Burgle, and for Gondor. This worrying only left my spirits in decay. With my spirits fading, I pushed those I cared about away. I'm ashamed to have been so distant, Ireless. Paragon is upset by his own actions. Paragon, I did not realize the weight you have been carrying. You know that you can always share that burden with your brother. I would treat Burgle as a son if the worst came to pass. Do not worry for your son. Be with him instead. On the battlefield, I shall protect the both of you until the bitter end. I do not want to stop your friendship with the halfling. He brings you joy and hope. That is something we all need. Irlos wants to help Baragon see the battle through. Thank you, Irlos. It is good to hear those words coming from you. I'll spend more time with my family. Hopefully Peregrine will be able to join us. I'm sure we will all enjoy the Hobbit's company. Now, Pippin, there is something that I must ask of you. I believe you came here to investigate our argument, most likely on Ormatar's orders. If you would be kindly to us, keep the quarrel a secret whilst we return to our post. We would rather not get in trouble for this little family dispute. Baragon agrees with Irlos and smiles. You explained to Ormatar that the noise was just some nobles who were staying at the Southern Great Guest House. They were having a heated discussion, but you calmed them down. Good, I am glad it was not any of my men. Those nobles spend way too much time bickering and not enough time getting actual work done. Well, enough talk from me. I'll let you get back to more important matters. You are quite efficient. Perhaps you would be willing to join the Citadel Guard one day? Okay. So no follow-ups from him.
Thank you for bringing this resolution to me. I will act upon it at once.
I'm grateful that you have brought the Council's resolutions to me with such haste, Pippin. As Warden of the Coffers, it is my duty to maintain the guard upon the Treasury. To my relief, the Council agreed with my proposal that the guard upon the Treasury doors be increased. If the city is soon besieged, as seems certain, the gravest threat to the coin of the city might not be the enemies outside the walls, but the folk within them. Indeed, the unsavory group has already begun speaking out against the Council and the Steward, and I'm sure that they would try to pilfer the Treasury if given the opportunity. I thank you once more for bringing this resolution to me. Alright, let me look. So it looks like there's a quest ring up there. Although I can't tell if that's in the Master's tier or up here. So let me just kind of ride up there and see if there's a quest ring. Yeah, it looks like it's in the tier below me. Yeah, let me go down. Lots of developments this episode, making good progress. So let me go up here. Alright, where... Okay, I rode past it. Dang it. I think it's inside of here, the Dome of the Sun. Yeah, I think so. Makes sense. That's where the council is convening. Although, I do not see a quest ring in here. Oh no. Maybe it was not in here yet. It says they're in the Dome of the Sun. Okay. Well. I don't see the quest ring. Let me go behind here, see if there's anything there. It's one of my least favorite things is when I'm standing on top of a quest ring and I don't see the quest. Okay. So, he's literally here. He just doesn't have a quest above his head. I'm so confused. It says, talk to Othnar and complete the Council of Gondor. There's Othnar. There's no quest ring. Wow, this is bizarre. Oh, maybe I need to still deliver one of the resolutions before I can do this quest. Let me get rid of that on the tracker. Wow, that really threw me off. So on the south end of the city, there should be a quest ring. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes it throws me off the way the quests are done, because it said go talk to Othnar and I'm standing right on him where there's a quest ring highlighted, but apparently I just wasn't ready to turn that in because I need to do this other part of the quest first. It's a little deceptive. Alright, and I ran right by a ring here. Because he hadn't loaded in yet. That's another problem. Sometimes you run right by a quest ring because they're not loaded in yet.
As you know, I am the warden of the Houses of Healing.
That was very fast, Pippin. Perhaps you should become an errand rider for the city. I suppose it would be difficult for you to leave the adventuring life behind, but prompt delivery of messages is something to be prized, and you seem quite skilled at it. It was my first activity in this game. Remember all the mail running and pie delivering in the Shire? As you know, I am Warden of the Houses of Healing. At the council meeting that just concluded, I requested an increase in supplies and goods for the use of my healers, spare cloths, water for boiling, warm blankets. The council agreed with the principle of my request, but not with its whole extent. I have been granted an increase, but a small one. It is better than no increase at all, I suppose. We will take blankets and cloths from evacuated houses, and their owners have no current need for them, and I will arrange with the Warden of the Wells to provide me with spare buckets. Okay, excellent. Now let me look at the map again. Looks like I am going in the House of Healing, but you know what? I've been recording for a while. I think it's a good stopping point for this episode. In the next one, I will continue making preparations for war here and doing more quests in Minas Tirith. See you next time.
Thanks for stopping by the Renaissance Gaming Monastery. I hope you join our community on Discord and Twitter. These videos are produced with a lot of hard work and love. If you think they're worth $1, I'd be grateful for your contribution. You can send a thanks donation or become a member on YouTube. You can also support through PayPal, Patreon, or even with cryptocurrency. All links are in the description. See you on the next video.